Ukrainian military expert and former SBU officer Ivan Stupak answered a question about the whereabouts of Russian dictator Vladimir Putin's Koschai's death. Koschai's death is located in Moscow in the building on Staraya Square, the headquarters of President Putin's administration. Both Koschai himself and his death are there. We'd certainly like to fly there, but unfortunately it's not possible and there's no way yet, he said during a chat on Glavred. The expert believes that there are plenty of fat targets on Russian territory that Ukrainian defense forces could strike. There are plenty of targets. The question is what to use. Drones? A drone costs about $100,000, but its warhead is only 50 kilograms compared to 50 kilograms for a missile. So you'd need 10 drones flying to the same spot to achieve the same effect as a single missile. But 2 or 3 missiles are preferable, he says. In his opinion, Ukraine does not yet have such capabilities, therefore the Ukrainian armed forces are limited in resources. If a drone hits a reinforced concrete structure, there won't be much damage. But if it hits an oil refinery, 20 kilograms of explosives would be enough to burn a large fuel tank. Therefore, Ukraine chooses high-value targets that bring in a lot of money for the Russian budget, but are easy to destroy, he noted. Stupak is also convinced that with a sufficient number of long-range missiles, the intensity of Ukrainian armed forces strikes will increase. When we are able to strike Russia with our own missiles, the president says the Flamingos will be flying by the new year. These strikes should naturally target Russian military installations as well as quasi-military installations, that is, research institutes and design bureaus working for the Russian military-industrial complex. For example, the places where engines for aircraft and drones, like the Shahed, are designed. He added, Ukrainian drone strikes on oil refineries in Russia have disrupted fuel supplies and triggered a rise in domestic gasoline prices, according to a report by the Institute for the Study of War. Experts estimate that the resulting fuel shortage will increase costs for both businesses and individuals, which could further accelerate inflation in the country. Volodymyr Fesenko, head of the Penta Center for Applied Political Research, stated that the Ukrainian military is very effectively using long-range drones to strike Russia. According to him, attacks are carried out on Russian oil refineries almost daily. Gasoline shortages have already begun in certain regions of Russia, including Crimea. Gasoline prices have also begun to rise. Furthermore, problems with air travel have risen. He emphasized, Russia's oil processing has only decreased by 3% this year, despite significant drone attacks from Ukraine. These attacks have targeted oil refineries, depots and pipelines, aiming to disrupt Russia's main source of funding for its war efforts. Most attacks happened early in 2025 and resumed in August, affecting 17 major refineries, which prompted Russia to reduce fuel exports and enhance drone defenses. From August to October, a second wave of assaults and scheduled maintenance took about 20% of Russia's refinery capacity offline. Despite this, total refining volumes dropped by only 6% to approximately 5.1 million barrels per day, which is 300,000 barrels less than during the previous year. Overall, from January to October, oil processing fell to around 220 million metric tons, translating to 5.2 million barrels per day.
In his first 100 days in office, Poland's new president Karol Nawrocki has positioned himself as the defender of the Polish nation and someone whose office might be sympathetic to the far right. According to Associated Press, with his athletic physique and impeccable suits, Nawrocki projected an old-school image of a protector as he kissed the hands of retired older women during an event this month at a library in Sokoksy, a small town of 33,000 situated 70 kilometers from capital Warsaw. That appeal to Poland's more conservative voters helped the 42-year-old Nawrocki win the Polish presidency in June. His fans say he stands for traditionalist values. The president has declared himself against LGBTQ+ privileges and aggressive left-wing radicalism. He has pledged to resist NATO membership for neighboring Ukraine and has not visited that country since taking office. With a background as a historian, Nawrocki was hardly known to the public when the leader of Poland's largest opposition party, the Conservative Law and Justice, chose him to be its presidential candidate. He was heading the Institute for National Remembrance, a state research body, at the time. Most pundits expected liberal Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski, running for the centrist governing alliance led by Donald Tusk, to win by a comfortable margin. But Nawrocki's underdog profile, despite media revelations that included alleged links to criminal figures and his past participation in a street brawl among football fans, helped to make him relatable to voters. He denied the criminal links but not the brawl, saying he had taken part in many noble, masculine combats in his life. An endorsement from U.S. President Donald Trump helped Nawrocki in the election. Nawrocki has already visited the White House as Poland's president. As they sat side by side, Trump declared he does not intend to pull U.S. troops out of Poland.